College Football Update with your host, Sean Spencer and Alex Rusmore. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And today is Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. So you know what that means. College Football Update. Whenever I'm talking college football, you know I got my guys with me. Starting right here, Mr. Maize and Blue, Michigan's finest, Alex Loosemore. What up, Alex?
Not too much, man. We escaped on Saturday. I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. That was dangerously close to our season being over, but we survived. Let's see where we rank tonight. The rankings come out. Obviously, there was a lot of crazy stuff that happened on Saturday, and I can't wait to see how this all shakes out.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And the guy right under you, repping JMU, our guy, you know him, your friend of mine, Will Kramer. What up, Will?
Well, it's November, and JMU is the only team that I've got that's having a good season, so we're rocking all our purple stuff here. I was wearing a Gamecock shirt earlier today, but it is now getting covered up because, after that collapse, we don't wear stuff, we cover it up, and we just focus on JMU.
I saw the score after at halftime, and I was with my parents. And I'm like, oh my god, this is insane. Want to message Will, and then I saw the second half start, and I was just like, and I'm gonna leave him alone.
Oh, yeah. So for real though, I was good with it, because this is such a lost season. And going into the game, I'm like, they're not going to win this game. So, I was hyped and excited about it. I'm like, oh, my gosh, new offensive coordinator. I can finally tell Alex. I've been telling you the whole time. It was Shula's fault. It was Shula's fault the whole time. And then the best team in college football showed up in the second half.
It was rough. And actually, yeah, matter of fact, ever since Nick Harper ran into that tunnel, and the little police officer made his little bump, everything changed from that moment on. And it was upsetting to see. And you see this guy under me with that Jeremiah Love, who we're hoping to be a commander next year. My guy, E.K. Holiday. What up, Eric?
Sean Spencer. Nothing's up except for I just want to remind everyone that while I worry about every team we play, I was not worried about Pitt one bit, and I shared that with you, my friends. Narduzzi is a joke, and I will continue that. Language till the end of time.
I have a question on this, Eric. Where did this hatred of Pitt come from with Notre Dame? Or is this a personal thing? Because I was sitting there, I'm like, man, he really does not like Pitt.
I don't have a problem with Pitt. I have a problem with Narduzzi.
It's Narduzzi.
Yeah.
And why?
The years he was at Michigan State, Alex can attest to it. But first of all, he just says dumb shit all the time, which you can see by the quote.
Yeah, he said this wasn't a must-win game.
Yeah, he. So that's one of the things. He has been very outspoken against Notre Dame since he's been at Pitt. But when he was at Michigan State, I found that the defenses were very dirty that he ran. Mm-hmm. Like players would be 6 yards out of bounds and they'd be getting clipped. They held like no one's business. It was just never a fan of watching his teams. But it has grown further since he has a lot of the James Franklin speech about how Notre Dame shouldn't be in a conference, should be in a conference, but then he can't do anything about playing Notre Dame. So I don't know. The man the man talks a lot.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And his teams just every year. Every year, people are like, "Oh, Pitt's good," and it's like, "No, they're not."
Right. Did y'all see who just checked in?
Oh yeah.
Where game day is. this week
Mm-hmm.
at his school. Alec has checked in and is commenting.
Shout out to Alec. Welcome back.
What's up,
Being
Al?
back in the States. What is going on? And Alec alluded to something, and we have to do this real quick before we start the show. One of our guys on this show just had a birthday, and we want to shout him out. Alex Loosemore just celebrated a birthday, buddy. Happy birthday to you, my guy.
Thank you very much.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Glad they got the dub for you because I was worried.
Definitely worried. We were out just at the mall and everything, and the mall in Edmonton has all the restaurants and sports bars and everything in it. And I told my parents, I was like, we're going for lunch now. Like I have to watch the end of this. We're going to watch.
Yes. I can dig it. Nathan saying good evening. What's going on, Nate? Stick with us because you're going to want to hear what some of the things that are going to be said. Alec saying, just know I'll be crashing out if my top 10 prediction doesn't go as planned.
Alec, my 6-year-old.
Well, you're in the top. Oh, sorry. His top 10. Okay, well, he got the first one right. Alabama is number 10.
So we are going to. Yeah, got it. Good.
Oh, well, no, I was like, we can start the other topic, and then this will all be done. Then we can discuss the whole rankings.
Perfect. All right, welcome to College Football Update. We're going to talk about some coaching carousel, and once this CFP rankings are updated fully, we will definitely discuss that as well. And we got a new segment for you. We want you to see, but definitely stay tuned for that. But before we do, it's getting to be that time, ladies and gentlemen, the Heisman Watch.
With team success comes individual success, so without y'all.
So we are looking at the Heisman list. A number of names have come up. I will share what we have right here. All right. Fernando Mendoza at the top of that list. Then Julian Sand, Marcel Reed, my guy Diego Pavia, Gunnar Stockton, Haynes King, Jeremiah Smith, Jacob Rodriguez, Ty Simpson, and I will add on Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame on that list. Hey, I'll come to you first, Alex. What is your thoughts when you're looking at this? How accurate is it? Is your pickup there?
I mean, my pick right now is Mendoza. I think just the way he's played, I think he deserves it. But I mean, you could argue Reed, Pavia. I'm not going to touch too much on it because I know it's going to be a topic for the guy at the bottom of our list here. But then you just show some more love to Jeremiah Love because that dude is insane. I think he should be in New York with a legit shot to win it.
Absolutely. And Will, you look at this, you see some of the guys on this list. Any surprises or what are your thoughts?
I don't have my glasses on, so I cannot see the list.
Okay.
But I hate the Heisman. And so I am going for Jeremiah Love because I think the quarterbacks are I think it's too much of a quarterback award.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm all about Jeremiah Love. It would be my choice.
Oh, absolutely. And look, we're all talking about him, Eric. Your guy, Jeremiah Love, definitely needs more attention, even in the midst of this whole quarterback, love that they have out there. The real love need to go for that back in your backfield, man. What are your thoughts about this list and your guy not getting enough love?
I have never felt so close to Will Kramer and Alex Loosemore in my life as the last 1 minute. So I need to soak that in real quick.
Right.
Eric, we ran sports camp together. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but it's another level when you talk about my love.
Literally.
Yeah,
Yep.
literally.
Right. Sports camp. Here's the thing. Like I've mentioned it in our chats before, just our group chats. Like I like Will have become pretty disillusioned with what the Heisman is or has become. I always thought of it as this is the best player in college football. And that's not what it is, unfortunately. But when I think Heisman, I think Reggie Bush. I think of Charles Woodson when he won the Heisman. These are the guys that, like, these are the best. I cannot argue statistics versus Mendoza or some of these other guys. Quarterbacks are going to blow it out of the world. That's great. Go turn on a highlight tape of Jeremiah Love.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be sitting there for 7 minutes.
Yep.
It's just unbelievable. In my opinion, at least offensively, he is the best offensive player in college football, at least. So that's not to say he should win the Heisman. That's just to say, to Alex's point, like, if he's not in New York, that's a real shame on the voters for the Heisman. He doesn't have to win it, but he should be there. Every week he's breaking a 70-yarder, and he's breaking someone's ankles when he does it.
Yeah.
with spins or jukes that look like he practices them. It's just absolutely unbelievable. So yeah, I want some more love for Love, just because the dude is just a freaking football player, man. It's I'm at a loss for words when I watch the guy. I just can't believe I am blessed with this.
Sean, what's happened to your screen?
He's frozen.
His face looks very disappointed in my
Right?
my talk. Alex, what about Mr. Rodriguez?
Yeah, I mean, this guy's been insane on the defensive end, putting up numbers very Manti Te'o-esque. I'm gonna pull up his numbers here. I mean, he's playing goal line quarterback for them as well, so he's getting a little bit of that two-way player. But I mean, we've talked about Texas Tech having the best front seven in football, and he's a big part as to why. Of course, as I'm trying to bring up numbers, so I can explain to people how good this guy is, my phone takes forever to load. So
Here you go. I think
you got it?
I sent that in the chat for the comparison to Manti Te'o with
yeah.
Here you go. Through the first 11 games. Yeah.
Man, I love Notre Dame love tonight. Ooh.
I mean, you look at it, outside of half a sack and 2 interceptions fewer, he's leading every other statistical category. And I mean, what Manti Te'o did in 2012 was one of the better defensive seasons we've seen in a very, very long time. And Jacob Rodriguez is step for step with Te'o. So, I think he, along with Love, should be in New York. I don't know that he's going to get there. I don't think he's getting quite enough love. But absolutely a guy that should be getting so much credit. Should easily walk away with like the Bednarik and all the defensive player awards. Just kind of hand them to Jacob Rodriguez. He's been either him or is it Ruben Bain, the Miami defensive end. Those two guys are head and shoulders above the rest right now defensively.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see it. I do want to bring up one guy, and I'm sorry, Will, you saw him firsthand, but I really feel like Marcel Reed being up here is huge. He was somebody that I was paying attention to prior to the season, but didn't know if it could translate, especially in the SEC. But what he was able to do, and especially that game, how he was able to bring those guys back down 27-3. Really, we all talk about Heisman moments, which seems to be the only thing that we can really point to say that's something we could, potentially lean on for the Heisman. And seeing what he was able to do in that second half of that game, I thought was elite. So
yeah, he was really impressive, especially since the year before when they were in Colombia, they really shut him down. He was pretty erratic. He was a threat with his legs, but that's about it. And then he was having a bad first half, throwing interceptions, just being inaccurate. And then, man, he threw some dimes in that second half. I was like, all right, well, they've been hyping this guy up for a Heisman. He's looking pretty good.
Yeah, he definitely showed up. And here's the other side to that with Jeremiah Smith on there, Jim Jones. But go ahead, say what you're saying. Jacob Anti-Simpson.
I didn't have anything.
Ty Simpson took a nosedive this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can rule him out
at
this point, especially since this weekend is, other than 3 games, some of us like to refer to it as the Sisters of the Poor weekend. There's nothing he's going to do this weekend that is going to put him back in play.
Are you making fun of the fact that I'm going to the game against Coastal Carolina?
No, I'm talking just college football in general. I mean, SEC is real deep in the Sisters of the Poor game, but
it's gear up week, okay? Gear up for your rival.
The poor.
You get that every week playing those ACC teams.
I love it, man.
Wow.
You don't see me complaining, do you?
Right. Absolutely. So, yeah, let us know, ladies and gentlemen, who your pick is for the Heisman. We shall see how it all plays out. But there's about a 4 or 5 man race at the moment, but it's still kind of up in the air. I love seeing Diego Pavia on that list, as Alex says, somebody that we talked about for several years.
I'm with Will.
Will up top, bro.
Will,
right.
I'm in agreement.
Yeah. Forget Pavia. Done with that. Johnny Manziel-esque.
There we go. All right, look, let's move on. We talked about the CFP, the updated rankings, and they are out. Did you?
I sent a picture to the group chat. I've also been plastering the private chat with it.
Yep.
Perfect. Now,
the rankings and the playoff seedings are in the private chat, which I can read those off.
Yeah, there's the playoff seedings. You can read that one off, and then also the other one.
Yeah, so the playoff seedings here, the top 3 stays the same: Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, 1, 2, and 3. Georgia slides up to the 4 seed with Bama losing. Texas Tech slides up 1. Ole Miss slides up 1. Oregon slides up. Oklahoma jumps to 8. Notre Dame to 9. Bama falls all the way to 10. And then the 2 auto bids right now, Georgia Tech would be the ACC champ. I know they have Miami listed. I believe they're 13th in the actual ranking. But the ACC champ as of now would be Georgia Tech, and Tulane has the group of 5 auto bid.
What?
So your matchups would be
JMU
Texas Tech hosting Tulane, Ole Miss hosting Georgia Tech, Oregon hosting Alabama, and Oklahoma hosting Notre Dame.
I would like that Oregon Oklahoma game.
Oregon Alabama.
That would be really fun.
Oregon wins that. Bama ain't going up in the cold and winning that game.
Yeah.
Weather, we talked about
so
that.
How does JMU get into this spot over Tulane here? What is this? What's this nonsense? Bob Chesney needs to get in the playoffs before he leaves for Penn State.
It's literally just they got to win the Sun Belt and be ranked higher than whoever wins the American.
Gotcha.
I'm kind of surprised it wasn't Navy in there, to be honest. After Navy just beat USF. But
so who does
Tulane? Wait. JMU. What's your top 25 you're putting there? Because I saw JMU at ranked 21st.
That was the AP poll. This one that I've listed here is the CFP poll that just came out.
Oh, yeah. They're not even on there, morons.
No, they're not in the top 25. Tulane's remaining games. They go to Temple and host Charlotte.
And then JMU has Coastal and Washington State.
Yeah,
Pretty sure
I'm
JMU
excited.
coming out. They just
I told
Go ahead.
Trisha, I go, if they are hosting the playoffs, we're going. Of course, I got a huge response of, do not tell me where we are going in December.
oh man. Hey, when you put up 58 on App State, I mean, yeah, that's big stuff because we couldn't do that. We couldn't. I bet will.
Listen, my alma mater donation of $10 a month for the last 6 years, it's got to go towards something. It's got to go towards like sideline passes at this point.
So
I funded
JMU's
multiple
locked up their
scholarships.
spot in the Sun Belt Championship game.
Yes, they have.
And as of now, it looks like they'll play Southern Mississippi.
Okay.
But Arkansas State and Troy are both still in the running there. Meanwhile, for Tulane, if I'm not mistaken, so they're in a tie with North Texas and ECU for the second spot in the American Conference Championship game, with the front runner in the conference right now actually being Navy.
Oh wow!
Gotcha. Hence why you thought Navy should be up there.
Yeah, but that's with Navy being 6-1, Tulane, North Texas, and ECU being 5-1. They just have the extra game already. But remember, with Navy, if they were the one to get in, the Army game happens after.
Oh yeah.
After the playoff bracket is set.
Right. Okay.
That was a big deal last year. We were talking about that.
All right, Sean, you ready for a hot take? Maybe
got,
it's not
man?
a hot take. I do not understand two different things, two polar opposite things. You guys have heard me talk that I think SEC gets overinflated and it's a whole thing. Okay, that's one thing. I'm not going to go into that. We've talked about it a number of times. But with how the rankings are, why in the hell does the Big Ten have the top 2 teams? Look at the rest of the top 25. It's all SEC. So you're telling me that these 2 Big Ten teams deserve a better ranking than the conference that has half the freaking conference in the top 25?
No.
You can't convince me. I love you, Alex.
Me neither.
I'm a believer of the fact that I do think the SEC gets a little bit of this kind of inflation treatment. But if that's what we're going off of, and that's what we're saying it is, then how is Indiana ranked above A&M?
I was gonna say, actually, I agree with you.
Yeah. Whatever.
I've got 2 reasons. I think I got one reason for each team why I think they're 1 and 2, whether we agree with it or not.
Ohio State is the reigning champ. Until they lose, that's fine.
Yeah,
they can stay there.
Indiana currently still has the best win out of Indiana and A&M. Look at A&M's schedule outside of the Notre Dame game.
Why am I looking at it outside of the Notre Dame game?
It's been a weak schedule. He said this last week, I think.
Yeah, I was like every other win A&M's had, especially in conference play, has been the lower half of the conference.
And you know what? I hate to do this, but I'm gonna. Fuck my life.
There goes that PG rating of the show for Sean.
SEC, the bottom of the SEC is better than the bottom of the Big Ten.
I agree with you on that.
But I mean, Indiana hasn't played some crazy schedule. And look, I'm coming around. I think they're good. But they haven't played this schedule that warrants being number 2 in the country.
In conference play right now, they have more ranked matchups and ranked wins than A&M has.
And beating one of these ranked, I'm going back to beating one of these ranked SEC teams
Which
is
A&M
a
hasn't done,
different
though.
thing.
A&M has not beat a ranked SEC team.
They beat the number 9 team in the country at their place, and you're saying beating the number 7 team at their place is a significantly greater win. I just
I'm not
don't
saying it's a
see
significantly better win.
Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, Indiana State. Well, what are we doing here? Illinois sucks.
Illinois is ranked, though.
Iowa can't score.
If we're talking
Michigan
the resumes,
State sucks. UCLA sucks.
if
Maryland
we're talking the
sucks.
resumes, 2
Penn
ranked wins
State
to 1 ranked win.
sucks.
2 ranked wins to 1 ranked win.
All right. Well, let
now.
me pull up. See, I told you this is going to be a hot take. Let me pull up this A&M schedule because I just read through what I think is a laughable Indiana schedule. And Signetti has been upfront that he wants to make them easier because why would you make them harder? And I respect that.
Yeah, I was like, at least he's honest about it.
Let me do this. I'll eat my words in a quick second, but I just know when I look at Texas A&M schedule, I'm going to be more impressed by it.
Now, here's
overall.
the thing. If A&M wins the SEC, they will be the number 2 seed, if not the number 1 seed.
So,
I think if Ohio State wins the Big Ten, they'll be the number 1.
So the schedule I just read off to you versus at Notre Dame versus Auburn versus Mississippi State versus your Florida Gators versus an Arkansas team with a potent
On the
offense
train.
versus LSU versus Mizzou, then versus South Carolina. There's no off week there.
Mizzou was playing their 3rd string true freshman quarterback first off.
Yes, I Will take me home, man, because I don't see a comparison between the two schedules. I think A&M's schedule to me is significantly more difficult than what I see of Indiana's.
I mean, I said this in the preseason when I talked about Indiana. That I said they were going to be a lock for the college football playoff because they didn't have a difficult route. So I'm with you, buddy.
Oh, I was like, I don't disagree with you, but I mean, we're talking about what we've named. You named all the names for that.
When they beat LSU, LSU was 20.
Have a winning record? How many of those teams have a winning record?
You said top 25 wins. When LSU was 20 when they played. Mizzou
I'm talking.
was 22.
I'm talking the ranked wins now.
Wait, sorry. As of today?
So sorry. Now I saw Mizzou's at the bottom, so they have 2. Indiana's got 7 and 21. A&M has 9 and 22.
Yeah, I don't. Where's Sean at? I need him to.
He's hiding behind the comment.
Look, hey, look. We already put up. Ben already put up what the ACC stands for. So I don't have a dog in this fight.
He was right. He was very right.
Clemson is our only dog, and we see what they're doing.
Here's the thing:
A&M gets coaches fired.
I look at Indiana's schedule, and I see Iowa and Oregon, and I say, okay, those are good teams.
Yes.
But I mean, realistically, if we're looking at it, I think Penn State and Mizzou is actually a pretty good matchup. I don't think Penn State's they're a quarterback away essentially now.
They had a quarterback and they lost with their quarterback.
Well, I'm saying without Grunkemeyer or whatever the hell his name is, I think he's playing better than Aller was.
Okay.
So I think that's a better team than Mizzou right now.
It's all good, man. I just you look at the schedules and you look where each person goes back to back weeks. And
I think A&M is the better team than Indiana.
The Florida Gators are the number 1 team in the country from everything I dealt with at the beginning of the season. But now we're just going to discount them.
I'll say this, I don't get, I agree. I mean, Alex or EK, I think you're completely right, but I don't get as frustrated with rankings right now. I think because it all is going to kind of settle out. And I mean, of these teams right now, the one that I've all of a sudden become the most impressed with was the one at the beginning of the season that we talked about how nobody was mentioning. Nobody's talking about their quarterback that took over. I can't name a single player on defense that is going to go to the NFL and be the next star right now. But yet they are playing incredible right now, and it's Georgia. And that's the team I think is getting.
I thought you were
going to
say Ole Miss,
scary.
actually. I'm kind of surprised.
No, that Georgia, putting Trounce in Texas. I mean, come on, is Texas all that great? Probably not. But Georgia and Stockton and some of the playing, it's just they've turned out to become a lot better than I actually thought they were going to be this season.
Oh, absolutely. Bobo has adapted his calling the games to work.
Yeah, where was this when he was at South Carolina? Where was this Mike Bobo? My gosh.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah.
Was he actually have talent?
Yeah, Georgia. I mean, I'll be honest, like Georgia, I had just assumed they'd be in the top 6. But I didn't know if they were going to be the championship team that we know but I agree with you. And my issue isn't with the rankings as far as like I don't really care if Indiana is above Texas A&M. I just don't understand how we do it. And that's what I'm getting at. Like this criteria is just so biased at the end of the day, one way or another. It just makes no sense. If you tell me there's 8 whatever it is, top 25 SEC teams, that tells me that conference is better by their definition. So therefore, why is an undefeated team from that conference not above a team that I think has a easier schedule?
I think this Saturday has a lot to do with it, actually. When you look at it.
Yeah, but I'm saying based off what I've seen to this point, which is what it should be based on. I don't get it. And Indiana might very well be the better team.
I think A&M's the better team personally, but
I do too, but I was trying to be nice.
And the brutal thing is where we talked about it last week, where the guy sat there and answered all the questions. With there being the basketball games, they were literally doing it courtside, and it was essentially, okay, here's the rankings, now back to basketball. Like, they didn't really sit and discuss it. So
yeah,
it's hard to kind of understand the thought process this week versus last week. I think realistically, if you're in that top, especially the top 10, I don't think it really matters where you're placed right now. I think the bigger thing to look at is the back half, because then we can just use, like we did in the argument, well, Indiana beat 21st ranked Illinois and A&M beat 22nd ranked Mizzou, and so beat 23rd ranked Houston and 20th ranked Tennessee. And like, we can use all these teams that aren't playoff teams, but since they're stashed in the back half of the playoff, we can be like, well, they beat so-and-so.
I fundamentally disagree with it doesn't matter where in the top 10. Look at what happened with Oklahoma and Alabama. If Alabama wasn't as high as they were, they aren't as high as they are now. Look at the BYU after getting trounced by Texas Tech. So
yeah, fair.
It 100% matters where you are in the rankings, in my opinion.
Fair. I guess more what I'm trying to say is, like, we still have 2-3 weeks left to go, and there is still some matchups involved in there and conference championship matchups. So
there's a lot to play out, but
yeah,
and I agree with that, but this should be measured as to what you've done to this point, not what's left on the table.
Oh yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Now, let me ask you this. You were talking about the matchups already when you were going 5-12 and 6-11. However, but if you were to look at with the two teams from 2 conferences in the top 4, isn't this the scenario where, like, did they get rid of the idea where, like, the ACC would get the auto qualifying bid in to the top 4, or did they get rid of that?
It's just auto qualifiers into the playoff, but the top 4 teams get the 4 buys.
So they got rid of what they had last year.
Yeah, they did away with the buys have to be conference champions. It's just the 4 best teams get the 4 buys.
Yeah.
Which pissed
Interesting.
everybody off for my guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because now we can
Shut
get
it.
the bye, even though we weren't supposed to get the bye. But
Right.
we certainly won't this year.
Now, here's the thing again though, is like you look at it in this example, the winner or Ohio State gets the winner of Oklahoma and Notre Dame. Like I don't think that's necessarily an easy matchup. Like I think you still kind of want to be, say, like the 4 seed, where you get the winner of 5 versus 12, and there's the chance of that lower seed getting in. Where I don't know. I just, to me, this again, the 8 versus 9 seems like a tougher matchup for the 1 than some of these other matchups.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah, getting Oklahoma or Notre Dame is not who it would be as of right now.
Yeah, so Ohio
Yeah.
State would get the winner of Oklahoma, Notre
Yeah.
Dame. Indiana would get the winner of Oregon and Alabama.
Mhm.
A&M would get the winner of Ole Miss and what would be Georgia Tech. And Georgia would get the winner of Texas Tech and Tulane.
Yeah,
Oh,
give
so
me that
Georgia.
game. If I'm Georgia, give me that game.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah, like that's where, like, if you're the 4 seed right now, you're laughing at that. Like, I guess essentially, well, and I mean, you think about it right now, realistically, I don't think all 4 of those teams are ending up with the buys. I think there's a good chance that at least one, if not both, losers of the conference championship games could slide out.
So I was going to ask about that right before you said that. So, I mean, realistically looking at it, there's a really good opportunity for A&M to play Georgia in the SEC championship game.
Yep.
So the loser of that could fall behind Ole Miss because they made it to the championship game. One more, you know?
I mean, there's potential there. I think it would more realistically be, there'd be discussion between Georgia and Texas Tech at that point.
It would depend on how they lose. So
yes.
if it's
and
a
how
close
Texas
game,
Tech wins.
Yeah, if it's a close game, you're not going to get penalized by the committee. They've proven that throughout the years.
Yeah.
But if
you have to get dog walked in the extra game you play for it to affect you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So and
I
it's
mean,
go on.
I was gonna say, as far as the Big Ten goes, we've said it the last few weeks. If Ohio State loses that one game to Michigan, they're out of the conference championship game. So would they fall to 4 or 5 with that one game, not have the extra game, and then there's the debate of pushing them into one of those non-bye games. And then the Big Ten championship would then be Indiana versus Michigan if they win out, and Oregon beats USC this weekend. Or if USC wins out, then it would be Indiana and USC.
Worked out pretty well for Ohio State last year.
Yeah, I was like, if I'm Ohio State, as much as you want to beat Michigan, that's not necessarily the worst thing. And
like I put
in the chat earlier, there's a realistic chance that the Michigan-Ohio State game is Ohio State without their 2 top receivers and Michigan potentially without their 2 top running backs.
Oof.
I don't know if you know this, Alex, but Ohio State puts out receivers like Tyreek Hill puts out kids.
Yeah, but I mean, even where these last few years you've heard even like 3, 4, 5 guys deep, this is the one year you haven't really heard that. Now, I'm not saying those guys aren't good. Those guys are still phenomenal.
You just haven't seen them prove it yet.
Yeah, where if you're going into the big rivalry game and it's been the 2 guys that you've relied on all year are gone, that's massive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be crazy to see how this stuff plays out. Yeah, Ben put his top 4 college basketball picks up here. So, and it is that time. Shout out to North Carolina. We did get a win and are undefeated in college basketball. So, absolutely love that. Absolutely love that.
Undefeated too.
There you go. There we go. Well, one thing we know is that everybody that is potentially on the list that we showed you, most of their coaches are safe, but we're going to talk about a couple that might go, even though they are having a lot of success. But look, if you've watched this show the last couple of weeks, you know, number one topic, that coaching carousel. Coaches have been fired. Coaches have been picked up. Interim coaches are winning and losing. And some coaches that are from the NFL that were the GOAT in the NFL are embarrassing us in Chapel Hill. But it's okay. It is all right because we are going to move on to this coaching carousel. And one of the big name coaches that we saw got fired, James Franklin, got fired from Penn State. Well, he just got rehired at Virginia Tech, ladies and gentlemen. And hey, listen, I'm going to bring it to you, Will, first, because we know how you feel about the ACC. Did he just sign the death warrant for the rest of the ACC? Is he going to be like Dabo and just run through the ACC now that he's at Virginia Tech?
No, 100%. Yep. Virginia Tech will be back on the map within 2 years, big time in Blacksburg. This is a complete home run hire for Virginia Tech. They outkicked their coverage on this one and got so fortunate that they had a guy that got fired so early. But it's also a really smart decision by James Franklin. He knows who he is. He knows where his bread and butter is, and he knows where he can be successful. You know, it's kind of interesting that he didn't wait to see what's happening with some of these SEC jobs, the Floridas and the LSUs. But Franklin has the reputation of being a program builder. You're not building a program at LSU. They want a guy to win a championship. So he's really not that guy. And at Florida, you actually at this point would be a program builder. They're very, very equivalent to what Penn State is. You know, they are a good program who needs to get elevated. But I think the pressure at Florida would be equivalent to what he was just dealing with at Penn State. And I can see why he would say, you know what, I don't need that. Instead, he chose Virginia Tech, where he now is still geographically in a spot to poach all of the recruits from the DMV like he's been doing at Penn State. So he's 4 hours away. That's an easy one. And Virginia Tech is on TVs everywhere in the DMV, and they especially were when they were good. He's got the ability to go 2 to 3 hours across state and get the 757 recruits. He now is going to dip into Charlotte and Raleigh, which means programs like Maryland, done. South Carolina, NC State, North Carolina, Franklin's taken all those guys from the state of North Carolina, and Clemson is now he's going after any of those guys in the Charlotte area. Clemson's going to be losing out on some players now. And I mean, I think within 2 years, Franklin's got them to 9 wins, 10 wins quickly, especially in this era of NIL and kind of getting some folks. I think it's a really smart decision by him, just because he knows where he's successful. He was successful at Maryland as the offensive coordinator. He was successful at Penn State, getting most of the best players from the DMV would go to Penn State if they didn't go to Ohio State, Michigan, South Carolina, and some went to Maryland. But he would consistently grab these guys. And so, I mean, it's a really smart move by him, even though it probably has some people going, why'd he choose that? That's why.
Good call. EK, what you think, man? What you guys think?
I'm all fired up. A wise man once told me earlier today, "You're stealing all my talking points."
Yeah.
So with that said, I'll be short and sweet to it. I 100% on board with everything Will said. The one thing I really loved that you and I was on the tip of my tongue, I wanted to say it. Penn State, this is terrible news for them because they owned Maryland, like they owned the DMV. To your point, for getting recruits out of DC, Maryland, Virginia, or Northern Virginia, and now they have to compete with James Franklin. The other part to this is, I think you alluded to it, not just with Virginia Tech, but I've always believed that there is the potential for a sleeping giant within a Virginia program. Whether that's
Mhm.
Tech or UVA, it's whoever gets to that first. I think UVA, it's a shame that they're having a really good season because I don't think Elliott's the guy long term, but I think this is giving false hope that he is. And I think Virginia fans, many that I do know already, have already texted me today saying expletive, expletive, expletive.
They shit their pants.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And, we all got to enjoy, especially Sean, Will, myself, enjoy or not enjoy, whatever it is. But we got to live through an era where, like, Virginia Tech was right there
Yes.
for so many years.
99.
They were, even, I want to say till maybe
Beyond
like
that.
2008, 2009.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
They,
say I caught the tail end of it.
yeah, they were an offensive coordinator away from
Yep.
being a championship contender.
Mhm.
And it's not hard to see that happening again. And especially under Franklin. I'm not a big fan of his as a coach, but I respect what he does as a coach a lot. Like, he's successful everywhere he's been. So, just the ACC teams, get ready for him to be going for a field goal attempt with 3 seconds left when he's up 67-3.
No mercy. No mercy. But Alex, in real life, does this make them a playoff contender? I mean, is it a couple years down the line? Let's see what he brings in, X, Y, and Z.
I wouldn't be shocked if they're a playoff contender next year. There's one thing to notice here. When Florida fired their coach, pretty much everyone was like, I'm good. I'm here to be at Florida. I'm gonna stay recruited. Some of them reopened their commitment, or their recruitment. LSU was generally the same thing. One of them hasn't lost any recruits. One of them lost like one or two, or decommitted. Sorry. I'm pretty sure the thing I saw today was there was like 17 Penn State recruits decommitted.
Mhm.
James Franklin is recruiting these guys that are loyal to James Franklin. They weren't loyal to the school. That's how good of a recruiter James Franklin is. It wouldn't shock me if you see a bunch of those Penn State recruits go over to Virginia Tech. And then, like we've been saying, Franklin just dominates this area. I think this could be what a lot of people expected Colorado to be with Dion, which was a lot to ask. But I think it's a lot more realistic at Virginia Tech for him to go in, take over the ACC in 1 year, and be a playoff contender year one.
Yep.
Jeez.
I hate this hire because of, Maryland's gonna really suffer for this. I like seeing what's happening at Virginia, but I love this hire because he is going to knock off Clemson being up on that pedestal that they've been on for so many years. So that is, when this happened, I told Sean, I said they are going to be the Clemson of the ACC.
Yeah, he's going to take it over.
Yeah,
and quickly.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I hope it's more of he is one of the ones that built the conference back up as opposed to take it over. So if Cristobal can get his act right, if Florida State can get their money in the right place with someone other than Norvell, if Dabo can un-Dabo and adapt to the new world, there's some quality coaches in the ACC.
Yeah, and that's something to really build off of. If, like you said, if all these schools can kind of get their shit in a row, like if they can figure it out, this could really propel the ACC to not kind of be like, oh yeah, there's the Power Four, but it's these three, and then the ACC. Like they could really propel themselves into being a major discussion point.
Right, they can. The easier schedule that I knock them on for, so much that it could become a little more challenging.
It could quickly flip, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially you keep a guy like Brent Key around in Georgia.
Jeff Brom.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can keep Brom around.
Florida State becomes what Florida State should be. Clemson.
Absolutely.
I mean, they can be much more
Diaz,
respectable.
Going to play a night game wherever Jeff Brom is coaching is a terrifying thing.
Yes, 100%.
Whether it was Purdue versus Ohio State, when we
One of
went
my
into
favorite games
Louisville a
ever.
couple years. Yeah, so I don't see the next year playoff contender like UC could be a possibility. I don't quite see that, but I think
Fair.
there's going to be marked improvement year one.
Yeah, I think 2 years. 2 years, and they're winning 8-9 games already.
Turn it around. And I think that obviously leads to the obvious question: who are the candidates for the Penn State job? What do you guys think?
So I'll jump in just because I sent the message on this earlier. So I sent those two names, but there's really, from what I'm seeing, it's kind of a 3-man race right now. One we just talked about, Jeff Brom from Louisville, Eli Drinkwitz from Missouri, and the other one they're looking at would be staying in conference, and that's Brian Hartline from Ohio State. It seems like those are the three guys they're really looking at. Sounds like they've kind of soured on Hartline a little bit, just because the lack of head coach experience. But I think any of those three would be good hires, just based on what's available this offseason. Drinkwitz, what he's done with Mizzou, you've got to give him a look at some of these jobs. Brom, like we've talked about, you just talked about Brom with a night game. You give him a whiteout game. That's an automatic win every year. And then what Hartline's done as a recruiter and developer with the offense, and more specifically the wide receiver position, I think he's got to get a look. And as a Michigan fan, please get him the hell out of Columbus. Somebody take him.
Exactly.
Although I don't know that I want him to go to Happy Valley necessarily, but get the hell out of Columbus.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
EK, you take yours. You take it next.
I can't really attest to who they're going to go after. I know that I'm on the same page with Alex in regards to I don't know how you don't give Hartline a crack, mostly just for his recruiting acumen.
He's stealing from Ohio State.
It's not if he's hiring an offensive coordinator, I'm pretty sure he can figure out the head coaching duties. Like he'll get that in line, and he'll get good people around him. I wish Al Golden had stuck around another year for us because he's part of that Penn State tree, and I would have loved to get to see him get another big time job. He got kind of screwed when he went from Temple to Miami, because as soon as he got here, they get hit with all those sanctions. So he was a gigantic name on the coaching trail back in the early, and he got a bag shake there. And then Dan Mullen, I think he would do fantastic in that area. I think he's another guy that deserves another crack at a job. He probably should have never been fired from the job he had.
I think he's getting one. I think it's down south.
Yeah. The one that I thought would be really fun if they had just done better this year was Fran Brown. I thought that would have been just because he had been doing so well with a Northeast school.
Yeah, same area, just bigger program.
That swagger. But as far as which direction they're going to go, I have no earthly idea, because I have a hard time seeing some of these guys. There just seems to be a different feel with guys not feeling like they have to leave their programs than there was all of 3 years ago. And I hope the Broms of the world stays at Louisville, because it's awesome that it's his alma mater. Exactly. Same thing. I just, it's Brent Key. I think he is a Georgia Tech alum. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he is.
I'll look it up, but I think you're right.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's pretty cool. Sean, I got no idea. There aren't enough coaches.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Well, I think Braum would
Georgia Tech
be the
alum,
most
yeah.
exciting out of all those, just because he's proven he can win, and he can win in the Big Ten. Whereas Drinkwitz is showing he can win, but I just think that's too much. They're looking to win a championship, and I just don't know if Eli's the guy to deliver that. The Heartline idea is intriguing because can he keep the defensive coordinator they have? Who else does he have some good
Past
ties
relationship
to?
with the DC, yeah.
That's what, so like while he is the unproven, he can recruit, and he's got some relationships that could really build a really strong staff if you're going to go after it. My guy would have been, just because I feel like he fits the role perfectly for Penn State and the Big Ten, is Matt Campbell, even though he's had some troubles here at Iowa State. But that would have been the guy that I see as like the fit for them.
If he's willing to leave, I think that would be a perfect spot.
Yeah, but here's my concern for Penn State. Talking about the coach that just left, there's a chance in 3 years Penn State could be looking around going, did we make a mistake? Because Franklin's in the playoffs every year, and we're
it's most
hoping to
likely
get
you've
there.
made a mistake.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're like, is this the girl that I love? I don't think it's the girl I love. Let me go see if there's another better one out there. Then turns out Virginia Tech just shot above their weight class, and they are deep and madly in love. Yeah, and they are very happy with what they get. That's why am I slipping on Jim Knowles? Has Oklahoma State hired anybody yet? Because I feel like that is the perfect match.
This is only the second hiring for the coaches so far. And if I'm not mistaken, it was Kent State. The other one just promoted their interim coach to be the full-time head coach.
Yeah. I just triggered it in my mind that it was like Oklahoma State's open. They had their best success in years when he was their defensive coordinator.
I wonder if they would give him a shot. I haven't heard a single thing about what Oklahoma State's looking at.
Yeah.
And then Gundy. Where's Gundy? Gundy? I mean, he's more south, right? South, not southeastern, but more Oklahoma State area.
He ain't surviving in the Northeast.
Right.
No.
Right.
I still think the one that I said a few weeks ago for Gundy, I think if Summerall gets one of these jobs and leaves Tulane, I think you go there. Go that step down, but still a good program. Realistically, Tulane's probably a better football program right now than Oklahoma State. So I think you take your shot at a group of 5 that's better off than the school you were just at.
Here's a guy that gets mentioned with Penn State all the time. I'm not a big fan of Manny Diaz. What do you guys think?
Coach.
He's got the connection. He was the DC just a couple of years ago.
I just mean in general. What do you like him?
I don't think it's a good fit. I don't think he's no.
I don't like that choice for Penn State. Could he do more than Duke? Yes.
Mm-hmm. I think he's fit. I think he fits well at Duke because he's got them playing like a legitimate football team, and we know they're not used to that.
It's good for Duke. He's great for Duke.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So now, one of the other speaking of one of the things you brought up, Alex, you were talking about Sam Leavitt, talking about he's potentially leaving. We know Penn State's quarterback way. I'm just throwing this out there. Does Leavitt go, and then maybe his coach follows suit and goes to Penn State, or is he?
Man, if you could get Dillingham and Leavitt to Penn State, that's hard to pass up. It came out earlier today that Leavitt and his camp are heavily shopping himself for the transfer portal this coming off season, that it's way more likely than not that he is not in an Arizona State uniform next fall. It didn't say why. I'm guessing it's just he feels like he's bigger than ASU, like that he can go to a bigger stage and still do what he's doing.
He's seeing the Pavia effect.
Yeah.
Thinks he can.
Exactly. And there's a lot of these big time schools that probably feel like they're a quarterback away.
Yeah.
I mean, the big one right now that's going to be looking for a quarterback is Miami. So there's going to be a lot of big time schools looking for quarterbacks, and Levitt's been one of the better quarterbacks the last couple of years when healthy. So if Dillingham could get Levitt to go with him, I think he could do big things at Penn State.
Yes, that would be an exciting hire.
Well, I haven't heard anything on Dillingham leaving, even though the Levitt news just came out today. It'd be interesting to see if he wants to leave or not. Like he's been so like pro ASU the entire time he's been there.
Yeah,
it would be quite shocking for me to see him pack up and leave.
It'd be a big time slap in their face.
Yes,
for all that he's
100%.
Yeah,
I don't know if I could pull the trigger on that one if I were Penn State.
Fair.
Yeah, he's
absolutely fair.
He's a very intriguing coach. I just don't.
He's
know.
one of the youngest head coaches in college football right now.
Yeah,
so that would be something as a benefit is you could have him long term.
He really would be following the same trajectory that James Franklin did, of turning around a basement program and moving up.
Yeah, one of the big benefits for Dillingham would be, I mean, you look to last year, everyone had them in the bottom, if not directly at the bottom of the Big 12. And then he's in the playoffs going toe to toe with Sark in Texas. Like, they
should have won that.
Yeah, I mean, that close to winning that game. And you're heavily outmatched in essentially every spot. So that's a huge credit to Dillingham. And I mean, they've had a ton of injuries and obviously didn't have Scadaboo this year. But he is such an intriguing guy to look at. He's a phenomenal coach. I don't know if he'd leave, and it's risky to take the shot because there's such a little resume, right? Like he doesn't have that much experience.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that I'm advocating for Heartline and I'm nervous about Dillingham is hilarious for that reason.
But I think at the same time, it's Arizona versus you're seeing a guy that's in the Northeast in the Big Ten.
Yeah, it's just he has a certain cachet. Let me give you a name, Will. Not for Penn State, but for a head coaching job.
Okay.
Charlie Weiss Jr.
Don't know anything about him.
He has been on Nick Saban and Lane Kiffin's staffs for like the past 8 to 10 years.
Interesting.
He used to get bullied on our sideline when his dad didn't win too much. But he has been Lane Kiffin's offensive coordinator for multiple years between Florida Atlantic and now at Ole Miss.
He seems like an ideal candidate for James Madison University.
There you go. Then you can have Big Charlie come and be a curmudgeon for you.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's another one of those young guys, right? Like he's early 30s. Which seems a little risky I know you said not Penn State, but if you were looking at Penn State, LSU, Florida, it feels a little risky to go after one of those young guys. It feels like you need to go after a guy that's proven they can do it.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking like a USF kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then the other one
in Arkansas, take a shot on a guy like that.
Yeah.
That would be a smart decision for Arkansas.
I think he's where'd he go to? He's a Kansas alum.
That sounds right, yeah.
And then Tommy Reese. I don't know why he keeps getting talked about for jobs, but he does.
Where is he the OC now?
The freaking Browns.
I was supposed to say, didn't he move?
Yeah, he was at Alabama for a while, wasn't he?
Right. Yeah, he was.
Under Saban there at the end there.
The end of Saban.
Yeah.
Yep. They love him. I don't know why, but they do.
And look, speaking of the SEC and some of those schools, I mean, I don't know if we're going to pair this name up with the Penn State job or any job for that matter, but Lane Kiffin, what do you guys think are his potential destinations, or is he like Signetti saying, I'm good where I'm at, I'm just going to keep building here at Ole Miss?
Do we believe that Ole Miss has given him the mandate that you have to tell us
No.
by the Egg Bowl?
No, I mean, he came out and said that's not the case.
Okay.
He came and shut that down today.
Okay.
I didn't believe it even before that because that's real ballsy to give a coach like that the ultimatum of, yeah, go choose between these other big schools or us. Because if you're Ole Miss, you kind of want to be like, please don't go. Like,
we'll do everything for you. What do you need?
Like, what other coach right now is going to have you the number 6 team in the nation? And you went toe-to-toe with the number 4 team in the nation. Like, there's not many coaches that are doing what Lane Kiffin's doing at Ole Miss. So I think you keep him. And at the same time, we brought it up before. What are these other schools going to do for Lane that Ole Miss isn't doing? He's got everything he wants there. He's getting his recruits. They're backing him with whatever he wants. And he's set up. That's the big thing that got brought up before the show is he doesn't have to start over like if he goes one of these other 2 places. So the longer this goes and the less talk essentially that comes out about him and these other schools and more that comes out between him and Ole Miss, I think he's staying.
I think it's a battle between LSU and Ole Miss. I think Florida gets taken out of the running.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Florida because Florida State's going to get us somebody new that's going to be exciting. And then Miami is up and coming. So in that state, it's going to be a lot of competition for the recruiting, plus going to go up against Georgia. Whereas at LSU, the players want to go to LSU. You're right next to Texas to go after some players. So I think if he's thinking about if this is my last chance to really like get a national championship and this is my last like biggest job of my life. If you're comparing Ole Miss, LSU, and Florida, I think LSU has that edge there. But I also think there's a lot of content, as we've talked about, with him at Ole Miss. He seems to be a calmer person. Maybe he's matured a little bit. I've only caught snippets of the documentary, but I almost feel like maybe things are better or back with his wife. His life seems really good right now at Oxford. And I think that is a very strong pull. So it would not surprise me to see him stay. But if I think I had to, I'm probably saying 55% he's going to take the LSU job.
See, and I was that way before, but then remember, as far as the Florida thing, he's got experience being in the state of Florida and recruiting in the state of Florida.
He did.
So I don't necessarily think the whole Mario Cristobal and whoever they get at Florida State being there really scares him that much. Because he kind of has his own style of guys he goes for. Like Trinidad Chambliss, for example, was a quarterback at Ferris State.
Yeah.
Like he goes after his guys. So
yeah,
I don't really think that side of it worries him too much.
No, it's a good point. I kind of feel like at Florida Atlantic, he wasn't going toe to toe as much the way he would have to.
No.
At Florida, but you're right. He's made inroads. There are familiar high school coaches that that he's been with.
He knows. Yeah. Jim Jones said he'd be dumb to leave. Eric, what you think?
Agree.
Yeah. For me, I just don't see him leaving at all. So I'm gonna be the crazy one and I'm putting 0% chance he leaves this year. To Will's point, I think I've seen him talk about going to watch his son get to play football. He talks about how his relationship with his daughter is so much better than it's ever been. I think I could be wrong, but I'm on the same page as Will. I think he moved, like his ex-wife actually moved to Oxford, and him and his current wife, who works for the University of Old Miss as well, all live, cohesively.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, like, you have to, like, if you look at Lane Kiffin's career, he went to USC, or he went to, where did he go first? The Raiders?
Yeah, he was the Raiders first. Yeah,
He went to the Raiders.
and
He
God,
crashed and burned. He went to Tennessee, crash and burned. Went to USC, crash and burned. Florida Atlantic and Ole Miss are the only two places that you can deem him a success as a head coach. And I think, once you've been through those trials and tribulations, that you go, oh, I found the right stuff that works. And it didn't work when I was in these super high profile places, working for, what's his name? Al. I forgot his name. The scary man. Al Davis. Thank you.
Yeah.
Working for Al Davis, or being the head coach at USC after Pete Carroll, or trying to be the one to come in and save the program after Phil Fulmer. Like, this is his own path.
Yeah.
And it seems like life is more than football to him now. But, I'll probably be the one who goes, oh, crap, he did leave.
See, and I would put it at about 33% that he leaves. The longer this goes, the more I think he's staying.
The other thing we haven't talked about, though, is they're in the middle of a playoff race.
I was just saying, what do you mean the longer this goes? Everyone's still playing.
Yeah. Other than Brian Kelly, no one has attempted to leave their program when they were still in playoff contention.
Yeah.
Brian
Well,
Kelly.
because it screws recruiting. Like we've already had early signing days.
But it screws you. I mean, it makes you look horrible.
Well, yeah, that too.
You just dumped a program that's about to go to the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a weird dynamic from that standpoint, timing-wise.
Not a good look. Not a good look. Yeah, Jim Jones said Lane is a couple players away from a ship. He said you give him one more elite skill player or an elite rusher off the edge, a DB, and it's game over. So,
if you essentially paired this,
he's done great.
If you essentially paired this year's team and last year's team, I think he's got a championship team. Like all those players he lost defensively, and they're still right there. Right. A credit to how good of a job he's doing there. And losing Dart and all those guys offensively as well.
He's figured out how to play the transfer portal.
Yeah, he's reloading at a high pace and doing a very good job at it.
And like you said, he knows what he needs.
Yeah,
right. And we talk about Georgia being the elite, the top five, top of the SEC. Well, he was able to beat them last year, and then he, with Trinidad Chambliss this year, he kept it close.
Took everything Georgia had, yeah.
Right. So we got to give him credit, and I think I personally think he'll stay where he's at, because like you guys said, he's running the ship. This is his palace. This is his kingdom essentially out there. And I don't know how many other places are going to give him that kind of control.
I'm kind of thinking the only place he'd leave for is Bama.
I was actually gonna say, like, with Bama, would they be willing to fork it over and bring him in? I mean,
are they going to fire DeBoer?
Right, he's doing well.
Yeah, DeBoer only needs one more 2-loss season after this season before they're ready to fire him.
Well, I was like, here's the thing: if he loses to Auburn and is out of the playoff again,
they were getting hot on Nick at the end of Nick's time. Nick freaking Saban.
I mean, Alabama fans got to realize what the reality is. Losing 2 games a season is their new reality.
But if he goes back-to-back 3-loss seasons,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the loss to Auburn. I mean, that could change things, and that might throw a whole wrench in this whole thing.
Mm-hmm. And then do you have Dabo leave Clemson to go to Bama?
Go home to his alma mater. I don't think they want him right now.
No, I think they would do everything they could to get Lane.
Yes,
that's true too.
Yes, that would be absolutely the guy that they'd go after. That would be who the Alabama wants if they fire DeBoer. Yes.
Well, they call Nick first, and then they call Lane.
Well, yeah.
I think the only reason they do that is if they have had conversations and they know he's coming.
Yeah. Who I'm surprised never got back into the game was Bob Stoops. He is still relatively young.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think he's early 60s.
I think there was thoughts of like if things didn't go this well with
Venables.
Yeah, that would he take over as an interim basis to kind of float him? So I think he's still employed by the university and maybe not in just a fundraising role.
Yeah.
At one point he was like with the athletic department.
I was a proponent that I did not think that Brian Kelly would jump back into coaching, but with the way LSU has kind of screwed themselves with this whole how they fired him.
Yeah.
I think he'll get his money and he could get a job now.
He's going to Michigan State. I'm trying to tell you guys.
Well, here's the thing. I thought that, similar to what happened with Franklin when he took the Virginia Tech job, you kind of, you negotiate down, the buyout comes way down, blah, blah, blah. Well, with Kelly, it was going to be a similar type of thing, but LSU shot themselves in the foot. They said that they told him he was fired, and then they called him out and said, no, we didn't say he was fired. Like they're going to have to pay every cent to Brian Kelly.
Oh yeah.
Jim Jones said, "Bring Urban Myers to LSU."
Yes, absolutely. I would. I don't agree with Anthony here. I actually think the governor was correct. What? I'm about to get signed out of here. My computer's going to do a restart. But I actually thought they were correct in saying like, no, them out.
Yeah, I will pick up for Will, and I'll say what I think he was going to say. I don't know. Look, the head coach at LSU is the highest paid official in the state, just like most football coaches or basketball coaches are for the respective states. So while it's a little overstepping how the LSU governor, the Louisiana governor, how he did it, might as well be the LSU governor. It makes sense. I mean, that's what matters most to them down there. Like, football is life.
Yeah.
Will was just too hot. He couldn't handle it.
He was
didn't
too
want to
hot.
say something. He didn't want to say something.
Craziness. A question was asked earlier. I know we've talked about Dion before. A question was asked: is his health issues the reason for the struggles at Colorado?
I think it could be part of it because he's had to spend so much time away from the program, and as a head coach not being around the program so much, that's got to affect the program. But at the same time, I think it's just you've done about all you can do. I mean, you took this from a one. It was great if you got 2-win program in so many years, and you got them to around bowl contention. I think without a consistent recruiting base and building up the roster, I think digging into the transfer portal for 40, 50 guys every year, this is about all you can do. Now they need that guy to build up the program. Dion, I think he needs to step away for his health, but I think he'd also be better at one of those bigger schools that kind of has the base built and he can just come in and load the top end of it. But yeah, He's got to step away, I think.
I'll jump on that. I'll just respond to Nathan real quick. Nathan, I don't know whether he should or shouldn't, but the LSU governor is going to have control or say in whatever he wants to when it comes to a public institution. Whether he should or shouldn't is I don't think he should be making decisions as far as who the coach is, but if he thinks money is being wasted by a academic institution, then he probably should say something.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, or indifferent. As far as Dion goes, I like Dion. I think he's a good leader of young men. I don't know if he can coach. Like what happened at oh man, I'm slipping on where was he
Jackson
before?
State?
What
Jackson
happened
State,
at
yeah.
Jackson State? I mean, his son was a 4-star quarterback.
Mhm.
Travis
You got the
Hunter,
number one overall recruit.
yeah, Travis Hunter
Mhm.
was the number one overall recruit. They got tons of guys that came from other schools. Were they just out talenting people? I don't know, but you can't build a roster every year again in the transfer portal. Like it made sense year one, but then there should be a base that's been laid. And every year you're relying less and less and less upon the portal. But when you're rebuilding a team every single year from scratch, like I don't know where the success is going to come in that plan. But yes, health could be a factor, but it's not the reason.
I think you put that perfectly, Eric. He's a great leader and does great at showing these guys how to be young men. But as far as the football coach side of it goes, like, I mean, just because you're somebody that played the game doesn't mean you can coach. And I'm not specifically talking about him. I'm talking more Marshall Falk, Warren Sapp, all these guys that weren't really coaches anywhere before, and they're just suddenly popping up on the Colorado coaching staff, and it's not working.
Yeah, I would love to see them take the mentality of, okay, Prime's our guy, but we want to build. Like we want to look at this as a 3-year project, not a 1 or 2 year project. I would love to see what Colorado could be if they went that route.
Yeah, there's too much change as far as roster, coaching staff, everything year to year. There's too much change in a sport that needs so much chemistry and so much repetition and cohesion. You can't do that when there's 90 new guys every year.
Yeah, that continuity is essential. And yeah, I mean, you can have 1 out of 3 years that's great when you flip the team, but
yeah.
Even, I mean, look at what Signetti's doing. Like he flipped the entire roster, but he's doing a good job of building the foundation.
Yeah, that's where Signetti's an elite coach. He can build the roster and all that, but he is coaching these guys at an elite level. Like we saw a lot of these guys, Mendoza, even Rourke last year, where they were good on their team, or they were all right on their teams, and it was Cal and it was Ohio and it was these smaller schools. But his whole thing all along has been, hey, you got that chip on your shoulder, you want to prove that you belong on the bigger stage, let's go. And he's getting all these guys with that single focus. They're all on the same page of, I want my shot to prove I belong. And when you can afford to build the roster when you have that single-minded focus from all these guys. Colorado just doesn't have that.
Well, and a lot of the Colorado players, with no disrespect to them, but a lot of them are transfers that flamed out at other places that were 5 stars. So they have a different expectation than the guys that a Signetti is recruiting. I mean, Signetti is going and getting like our former center, who 3-star, try hard, like quality player.
I desperately wanted that center. I was so mad when he went to Indiana.
And then Mendoza, like that's a guy that was proven to be a quality player, but also had a work ethic and no character issues or anything like that. But you'll see
Mhm.
you'll see Colorado get like a 5-star defensive end, but that's because he flamed out at Alabama for reasons off the field.
Or
And
got pushed out because he's an attitude
yeah,
issue, or like, yeah.
how many guys? I mean, you want to give those guys a second chance, but how many can you put on the same team together?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It doesn't look like we're gonna get Will back. I think his computer said no bueno. It looks like the Grim Reaper got reaped. So we will hold that till next week. Is there anybody else that you guys were thinking about? We'll hold off on who's getting fired next week. But is there anybody else that you think might be moving jobs?
I think Mullen's a good shout. I think he's gotta, especially if we're thinking Kiffin staying, he's one of the bigger names on the market there. Braum, Drinkwitz. It's going to be interesting to see a lot of these smaller school guys. I'm blanking on his name now, but the North Texas coach could be somebody that's getting some looks. They're all over the place as far as like, it's so hard to tell who's gonna even get looks. Like everything's so quiet right now because a lot of these jobs, the coaches they're looking at are fighting for a chance to make the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you mine. You ready, Sean?
Mm-hmm.
I think Lincoln Riley is somewhere different.
I could see that.
I like that.
One of those two SEC jobs, I could see that. The LSU or the Florida. And this is reading a lot like when he left Oklahoma for USC. Like almost word for word what he was saying, and around the exact same time of year.
And now his seat is getting a touch bit hotter day by day at USC.
If they lose to Oregon.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been hot, but he's kind of had a small resurgence. I anticipate they're going to lose to Oregon.
I do too.
But
if they win that and he has a shot at the playoff,
they're the kind of team that could beat Oregon and then still kind of miss out on the
lose to UCLA
too.
at the end of the season. Like,
yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
or it just doesn't jump you quite into the top 12 just because of the resume thus far.
I wonder if it would be enough with them making the Big Ten championship game. I wonder if that would be enough to push them in.
I think they would need to win it, but that's just...
I kind of agree with you.
Yeah.
Without some chaos around them.
Yeah.
Now, they did move up to 15, something like that, if I'm not mistaken, tonight. So if they were to beat Oregon, that pushes them in, I think.
I'll be interested to see the... and I'll shut up here in a minute because I'll go all night. I'll be interested to see, does the head-to-head with Notre Dame and Miami come into play later, or does it not come into play at all?
That's going to be interesting because, I mean, you would have to think they have to honor the head-to-head.
Mm-hmm.
You would think, but
they've had Notre Dame ranked higher the last few weeks,
significantly higher.
Yeah.
So it's I'm not saying like head to head I think still matters. So
yeah,
if they were 10-9, but then you go, well, it was that darn close, and it was the first game of the season, and we were on
Notre
the road.
Dame hasn't lost to unranked teams. Like,
yeah, it's just a fascinating. I wonder if it gets close. I wonder because that's going to be a hot topic.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
One, I'll save for after the show.
Yeah, man, it's going to be interesting, and we're going to see. Coaches are going to be moving left and right, and maybe they won't. Maybe they'll stay home. Maybe it's going to be interesting. But I'm sure we are not done. But hey, Who knows? Who knows?
One last one.
Yes, sir.
You know who a Penn State guy is. This is a they miss on their guys. Greg Schiano.
Oh,
He is a
I
Penn
Don't
State
hate
guy.
that.
I
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I can dig
Lack
it.
of winning experience would worry me a bit, but
Mhm.
I'm
he
saying
fits them to a T, though.
after they miss on their guys, if they gotta come around on somebody, they will be able to sell themselves on Schiano.
Now, would you go Knowles at that point or Schiano?
Schiano is much better personality than Knowles.
Fair.
You need when you're the CEO of a program like the ones we follow, maybe not the one Sean follows, but the ones we follow, you have to have a great personality.
Yeah, fair.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Schiano, his players, they run through walls for him. They love him.
Yeah.
So I'd be all for that. That'd be pretty cool. Matt Rule. I know he hasn't had the season he wanted to have, and clearly I was wrong. He not going to win the Big Ten. But there's been a lot of conversation about he always brings teams up and then moves on.
I thought they locked him up. Did they not?
It's funny. No. They locked him up, but I almost wonder if they continue to lose here, is there a chance they say, yeah, about that, bye-bye? Like,
we did not file that. That's funny.
Would it be that outlandish for them? I know Raiola broke his leg, but would it be that insane for them to be like, well, we'll eat the extension on that, get out? Like,
yeah, no, he's the best chance they got at getting out of where they're at. So
I agree.
Yeah, I will tell you some very good news. I am hearing from my sources that so we locked Freeman up last December with the extension. I'm hearing that we are working on making sure he gets a significant raise again this year. So
he's earned it.
So that is very exciting to keep the NFL overtures at bay.
I was going to say, I'm not worried about him going to LSU, Florida, any of those. I'm worried about NFL teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But supposedly we give him everything he wants according to him. And we got the new very, very nice facility being built after he was named head coach. The AD would not approve it for Brian Kelly. But the AD, as a FU to Brian Kelly on his way out, made sure to say, we're making sure this gets done. So, very good news. Very happy guy here hearing that we're going to give Marcus more money.
That is definitely good to hear. Keep him in house. I like him.
Give him all the money. The Catholic Church needs to start paying him.
Pay the man. Pay the man.
Yeah, I mean, he's working himself into a top 5 coach in college ball right now.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
And my hero.
I thought he was already there. I didn't think he was working himself to that.
Oh yeah.
Yes, he is. He is there. I do have a gigantic man crush on Mr. Marcus Freeman.
I do too, and it pains me to say as a Michigan fan. An Ohio State alum and the head coach of Notre Dame. That is just like the spawn of Satan for a Michigan fan. Oddly enough, at Notre Dame, but
well, they say the Antichrist is a very, convincing, likable guy.
Yeah, buddy. and in other news, Caleb Wilson, the freshman at North Carolina, dropped 20 double was 23 and 12. So that's a good UNC news.
I was gonna say, unfortunately for you, Duke is rolling on Kansas right now.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not that bad anymore. It's 8 points at the half.
Okay. I saw what Michigan State did earlier, so
yeah, they rolled Kentucky.
Sean, I have very important coaching news for you before we hang up.
Oh, I heard about the cheerleading competition that my coach is at.
Oh, I don't even know what you're talking about, but I am intrigued.
Oh, okay.
I guess you first.
Yeah, my coach is at a cheerleading competition because his girl, Jordan, is on a intramural cheerleading team.
Good God.
So he's at the competition. He was spotted at the competition. So
still
clearly,
the fact that you could say his girlfriend is at an intramural anything is
yeah.
She's at her ballet recital.
Yes, essentially.
All right, so here's the news for you. Here's how I know West Virginia football is back. 4-star commit offensive lineman commits to West Virginia by burning couch.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Did it live on the Pat McAfee show.
Rich Rodriguez and West Virginia is back.
Yeah, buddy.
Yep.
We are burning couches again.
I know they are hyped. I know they're hyped down there.
Pat White and Steve Slayton and oh man, WVU is back.
Come on.
Alex loves Rich Rod.
Yeah. Right.
No comment.
Right. Good old West Virginia. That was another team that I had adopted for 10 years or so. But I like them. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to head out of here. Unfortunately, our guy is not going to, and I know I already said this, but our guy will not be joining us, but he will be back next week for the show. But listen, we got to let you guys go. We appreciate all you in the comments, talking to us, listening to us, going back and forth, etc. And we will definitely be back. Definitely stay tuned to all the college football stuff we got for my guy, Alex Loosemore up here, birthday boy, and EK Holiday down here, Will Kramer as well, the Grim Reaper, and your boy, Sean Spencer. We are out. This has been College Football Update. We will see you guys next time. Have a good evening. College Football Update with your host, Sean Spencer and Alex Loosemore.